Another mailbag, got a few things here. This is kind of mailbag. So we've got a few packages, and we've got this here, which I also picked up. Let's start with this thing. Absolutely squashed. A mediocre effort was made. Right, so this is a 24 volt fan, single light socket. It's got a little clip. It's getting really hot in the motorhome when doing shows and stuff, so I thought I'd try and pick up some fans, see what they're like. I picked up a few different options. I did one in the previous mailbag, I showed you one, which is a 12 volt version. This is a 24 volt one, but what I don't like about this is this complete lack of guarding around the back. That's really dodgy. Because you think about when a fan's spinning, right, spinning around that direction because it's getting air from the back, blowing it through the front. Well, if you happen to stick your fingers around the back of this, this is going to catch on your fingers and you'll get cut. The back is probably more important to be guarded than the front. Done for show. That may require some modification if I ever use it anyway. Let's power it up and see what it actually does. So we've got it powered on 12 volts for now. There's no control, it's just an on-off. Oh, turn the power supply on as well. Turn it on. So that's pulling about 300 milliamps at 12 volts, so it will run on 12 volts. Yeah. I think about doing a big Clive-esque demonstration of a dangerous Chinese product. Very tempting. Anyway, let's go to 24 volts on this. That was at 12 volts. 24 volts. We'll do the same test again. Well, it puts out a decent amount of air. Putting out half an amp. It does alright. Just don't stick your fingers in the back of it, because that'd hurt. I might need a better knife. It's a can of R134A Refrigerant. Been buying a few things like this recently to work on my car. I figured out what it is now. It's not this. And I've actually put some refrigerant on it already because I bought some other stuff. And anyway, I've got it for next time because, you know, air conditioning systems, I do need refilling from time to time. I'm buying all the gear to do it myself. This will be handy at some point. Maybe not right now. Antenna. I actually thought I had some of these already, but I can't find them, so I don't know, maybe I've used them or something, or lost them, possibly. These are like LoRa antennas, 868, 950 megahertz, that kind of region. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I've actually purchased some of these before, but I can't find them. So these antenna, say they're for LoRa systems, and ones I've used previously have been straight ones, but I'm pretty sure I did get some of these angled ones as well. I didn't get many, I think I only got a few, but I can't find them now. I don't know what's done with them, I've maybe lost them, I suppose. What I've been doing is I've been using an angled adapter and a straight one. I use these on my scoring system stuff I use for events. I realised I was getting really low on these antennas, so I've got to build some more units soon. I've got to build 4 more units and a gateway to communicate with them as well, so I'm going to need that many antennas and a gateway, which is that many, which means I'll have 2 left over, hopefully. I always like to have spares. So I thought I'd fish out the Nano VNA V2 and just hook onto this antenna and see what it actually comes out like. So you can see I've got the markers 896 megahertz there, and that's really close, so it's just below that, so it's probably about 890 megahertz or so is where that dip is. And the thing is with these antennas, anything near them completely retunes them. And I'm just putting my hand like here, right? And you can see it completely flattens it out. So any resonance greatly depends on what's around them. You know, it's one of the things you have to bear in mind. But it looks like it's about 890 megahertz, so it's kind of a compromise between the 2 bands, really. Let's see what it is. How's that for timing? It's some angle connectors. I've mentioned those just now with these antennas. So, some more angle ones. The reason I got these is because I think I only had a couple of these left. And with these antennas, the offset can be different. maybe. No, they look pretty close actually, they look very similar. Maybe they're not much of an offset there, and they're cheap. Don't cost much at all these days. What's in this one? Oh look, it's a straight antennas. Now let's put the Nano V now away. Let's get it back out. So this antenna is supposed to be an 868 MHz antenna, and you can see the resonant there, where the markers are. 780 MHz. Yeah, that's not quite right. So I'll just grab a different antenna just to prove it wasn't just that one. It's the same. At least they're consistent. They're just 100 MHz out. That's pretty useless. Thing is though, these are just like a little plastic sleeve over an antenna element, right? So if we really wanted to, we could probably get this apart. Let's see if we can do it. Here we go. There's the antenna. Right, that's what's inside them. Now, because it is reading a lower frequency, that means the antenna is too long. Which means we could probably come in here like, I don't know, a pair of side cutters like this, and sort of just like trim a couple of millimeters off it. Right, let's try that, shall we? So I trimmed off about 2 millimeters, and you can see the resonance now jumped up here. Let's see where that is. About there. What's that? 833 MHz. It's getting closer. So there you go, I trimmed it down some more, and I think I'll cut about probably about 8 to 10 millimeters off, something like that in total. And you can see we've got the marker there, it's 870 MHz, so that's basically perfect for 868, and it's probably a good compromise for 915 as well, so happy with that. Might have to do it to all those antennas to make them work, but that's the way you can do it. If you have something like this you can test them with, you can tune the antennas by adjusting the length, as long as you can go shorter. Alright, so if it's below the resonant frequency, you can shorten the antenna very slightly and get it to resonate at the frequency you want, which makes it more efficient. And here is the final thing we're going to look at today, this Wavetek 178 50 MHz waveform synthesizer. This was from Gavin, who I mentioned in the previous mailbag, and a couple of little features as well. He's a local guy, well, relatively local to me, a few hours away yet. I picked this up off him. This has some issues, which is always perfect, and this needs some repair work done. I'll be doing some videos on this thing. If you want to see me fix this, then certainly do subscribe and click the bell icon to get notifications. So this will be a future video. I don't know what's actually wrong with it yet. Maybe just age, maybe it just needs recapping, maybe some other problems going on. I know these Waveteks of this era, they use things like Dallas memory in them, and they could be failing because the batteries are going flat inside them, and there's things like that. So I don't actually know what we're dealing with yet. I haven't even opened it up, got no idea. So we'll find out in a future video. So don't forget to check out the videos down below, subscribe over here if you haven't already done it, and there's a Patreon support link over there if you want to help me to buy bits of test gear to do repair videos about. Catch you later.